Very good morning, students. The last 2 days we were discussing the second chapter of your English literature, Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. Here, dear students, we have already seen the country South Africa and its people, its new president, that is Nelson Mandela. They are very happy today because they have formed a democratic, non racial government. Because we have seen the last 300 years and more, they were discriminated by the white people, and now they have achieved their freedom, the freedom from the discrimination. And in his speech he is promising to the society, promising to the people that he never allow this social evil to come again in the society. What is a social evil? The discrimination of color, the race. So he never allow this social evil to come to the society again. Dear students, now we will read further and we will understand what Nelson Mandela is saying. The policy of apartheid created a deep and lasting wound in my country and my people. So he is saying that this policy of apartheid, what is this policy of apartheid? Now it's a policy that discriminates people based on their race. That is the blacks, the whites, etc. So here he is saying that this policy practiced by the whites creates a deep wound in his people and his country itself. And this wound is long lasting because they were going on remembering about this torture and every hardship they had gone for all these years. All of us will spend many years, if not generations, recovering from that profound hurt. So he is saying that his people, the people of South Africa, it will continue to suffer and remember the wounds that had been suffering, not only for many years but for generations to come, because it will take a long time for them to recover from this profound hurt. What is profound? That is something which is very intense, which is deep and strong, and it will take a long time to forget all this. But these decades of oppression and brutality had another unintended effect, and that was it produced the Oliver Thambos, the Walter de Sicilus, the Chief Lutholis, the Yusuf Dados, the Bram Fishers, the Robert Suboquis of our time. So he is saying that this oppression had not only created a deep wound, but it had also created another effect. What is that? It had produced so many great men, extraordinary men of courage, who had stood up against this oppression and raised their voice against this whites. And he has named a few of them. Men of such extraordinary courage, wisdom, and generosity that their like may never be known again. So he has named a few people like Oliver, Walter Sicilus, Chief Latholi, Yusuf, etc. And he is calling them as men of extraordinary courage, wisdom, and generosity, because they were men who stood up against this all these atrocities and against this apartheid policy of these whites, and they had raised their voice against this policy also. And he says that such men can never found again. Perhaps it requires such depths of oppression to create such heights of character. So he is saying that the apartheid policy was practiced in such a deep manner and such a brutality that it was able to create men of such extraordinary courage. My country is rich in the minerals and gems that lie beneath its soil, but I have always known that its greatest wealth is its people. So Nelson Mandela believed that that his country is very rich because of the presence of minerals and other valuable assets. But what he says that he believes that the greatest wealth of any nation is its people, finer and truer than the purest diamonds. So he is saying that the strong wealth or the greatest wealth, the people are more stronger or purer or more costlier than the purest form of diamonds. It is from these comrades in the struggle that I learned that meaning of courage. So he is saying that it is from these comrades. Who are comrades? Comrades are the colleagues or fellow members of an organization. So he is saying that it is from these comrades, that is the people that he had named a while ago. Because while struggling along with them, he understood what is the meaning of courage or what is it to be ruled. Time and again, I have seen men and women risk and give their lives for an idea. So he is saying that during the freedom struggle, he had many times seen men and women risking their lives and giving their lives for the sake of this beautiful idea of freedom. I have seen men stand up to attacks and torture without breaking, showing a strength and resilience that defies the imagination. So he's saying that many times he has seen men stand up against these attacks and torture. So whenever men were being attacked by the whites or the government that oppressed, so he saw them bearing every pain in silence and not fighting back. They had so much of resilience. That means they were able to bear every hardship without showing any signs of pain or torture. So he says that that strength to bear all this pain to bear to imagination. The strength these men and women shown against the while bearing the torture was beyond the imagination. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. So here he gives a beautiful thought on courage. He says that courage is not when there is no fear, but courage is actually when you are able to conquer your fear. That means when you win over fear. That is the real meaning of courage. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquer that fear. So man can be brave when he is really able to conquer the fear. So he is the brave man. No one is born hating other person because of the color of the skin or his background or his religion. So Mandela's opinion that no one is born to hating other person just because of the color of the skin is dark, because of the background is poor or something like that, or even maybe because of the religion. No one is born like that. People must learn to hate. That means people not to hate only the society. The society teaches the man to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. What he believes that if the people can be taught to hate, they can also be taught to learn love also. Or love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. So he says that it is very easy for the human hearts to love than to hate, because love comes naturally, he says. Even in the grimmest times in person, when my comrades and I were pushed to our limits, I would see a glimmer of humanity in one of the guards. So he is saying that even in the grimmest time, grimmest means very serious or sad times. Even in the most serious time, when he and his comrades, comrades, colleagues were in the jail, and when they were pushed to their limit, that means when they were made to suffer the most difficult time, he would see the sign of humanity in one of the guards. So he was able to see a slight wavering of light of humanity in one of the guards. What is humanity? Some kind gesture by the guards. And he is able to see that gave him a assurance to give and keep me going. He says that this glimmer of humanity is enough for him to live further or expect further. Man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. So he is saying that man's goodness, the kind nature of the man can be hidden, but it can never totally removed. In life, every man has twin obligations. But he is saying that every man in his life has two obligations. Obligations means duties or responsibilities, a kind of commitments. Obligations to his family, to his parents, to his wife and children. And he has no obligation to his people, his community, his country. So he says that every man has two obligations. One is towards his family, which consists of the parents, wives, and children, and the second is towards his nation, his community, and his people. In a civil and humane society, each man is able to fulfill those obligations according to his own inclinations and abilities. So he is saying that in a civil and humane society, what is civil? Where people are polite to each other. And humane society is where all these human values are valued by each others. So in such a society, it is easy for a man to fulfill these two obligations. What are these two obligations? One is to the family and one is to the nation. And he says that it is very easy in such a society where everything is good and fine. But in a country like South Africa, it was almost impossible for a man of my birth and color to fulfill both of those obligations. So he is saying that it is not easy for a man in South Africa, especially a man like him, that means a black, being a black. It is very difficulty for us, it is very difficult for such a person to fulfill his obligation. In South Africa, a man of color who attempted to live as a human being was punished and isolated. So he is saying that in South Africa, a man of color, here a man of color means a black. So if he attempt to live like a normal human being, like getting married, going to work, etc., he would be punished because he did not have the freedom to do so. And he would also be isolated. That means he would not be given freedom to do anything as he want. He would be kept separately. So in South Africa, a man who tried to fulfill his duty to his people was inevitably ripped from his family and his home and was forced to live like a apart. So he is saying that if any person tried to fulfill his duties, he was removed from all his family and he was asked to he will be forced to live like a life separately. Was forced to live like a apart and secrecy and rebellion. He was asked to live separately. He was not able, he would not be allowed to live with his family. and he would have twilight existence. What is twilight existence? That is living in darks, living in secrecy, etc. That is without anybody noticing him. And he would also being a rebel. What is rebel? He would have resist all the whatever is declared by the government. He would have to keep on resisting all those things. So I did not in the beginning choose to place my people above my family. But in attempting to save my people, I found that I was prevented from fulfilling my obligations as a son, a brother, a father, and a husband. So he is saying that in the beginning he did not attach to any importance to his country people. But the end, slowly when he was trying to have a respect to his people, he actually prevented from fulfilling his duties as a son, as a brother, as a father, or a husband. That means he was not able to live happily even in the family. Dear students, rest of the part we will discuss in the next class.